Hello, lovely yogi. Welcome to Flow with Shreya. I'm Shreya, and today I want to talk to you about some lessons that we learn in yoga on our mats that we can take off the mat and apply to our daily life. So, if you want to learn about some yoga lessons you can take off your mat, come flow with me. You might have heard me say this before, but to me, yoga isn't just the physical practice on the mat. Yoga is a way of life. Having practiced yoga for 10 years and also teaching yoga for a good chunk of those 10 years, I've really grown to find that I can apply a lot of things that I learn on my mat off the mat in my daily life. Our mats give us a safe place to practice and hone these skills that we end up needing when we go through a stressful situation or change in our lives. A big part of yoga for me is mindfulness, and I've learned and gotten to practice so many of these mindfulness skills on my mat. The first and very important lesson that I've learned on my mat that I take off my mat is presence, to be present. So in order to practice yoga, especially when you're working on some balancing postures, you really have to be present and focus on the task at hand in that very moment. You might notice that if you're distracted or if you're stressed out mentally, that you might be faltering in your practice. And while this is totally normal, this is the opportunity for us to practice being present, and that practice can serve you really well in day-to-day life. I've also learned a lot about presence through my kids, and that's exactly where I also need to use a lot of presence and want to use a lot of presence. When I can be present with my kids, I feel like I'm a better parent. When I can be present with my husband, I feel like I'm a better wife. When I can be present on my mat, I feel like I'm a better yogi. So being present is definitely something that we can work on our mats and then apply into our lives. The second lesson that I've learned on my mat, that I practice on my mat, that I can take into my life is to use my breath to get through difficult and uncomfortable situations. If you're human, you have inevitably been in an uncomfortable situation. When we experience discomfort and stress, our bodies do tend to go into fight or flight mode. And one of the mechanisms to take our bodies out of that mode and into the parasympathetic nervous system is to use our breath. When we practice challenging postures in yoga, especially in a practice like yin yoga, where we sit with discomfort and use our breath to work through those challenging, uncomfortable positions, we can then take that practice, take those skills of using our breath to work through those situations and apply them to any situations that come up in life. Whether you end up in a heated argument or you get into an accident or just anything stressful that happens, whether it's at home, at work, somewhere out and about, you can always come back to your breath to ground yourself, come back to your center, and respond intentionally rather than being reactive. This is a skill I use daily, I feel. I've even used my breath when I was in labor with both of my kids, and this is a skill that doesn't come easily when you're in a difficult situation. So if you can practice it in a controlled situation on your mat, that's when you can then draw on that experience and bring that skill out when you need it in a difficult place. The third lesson is humility. For me personally, when I started practicing yoga, I wanted to be cool and do all the cool arm balances and handstands and headstands. And while all those are great, working towards some of those postures can be really humbling. It's often when you can surrender to the posture and the process and the journey that you find success in some of those postures. And working to grow in your yoga practice can really teach you humility. The next lesson that kind of goes along with the breath is relaxation. You can always use your breath to go into that relaxation mode, as I mentioned, and just practicing how to relax your body, how to relax your muscles through not only breath work, but also visualization and moving your body on your mat can really help you get into that relaxed state, and you can draw on that relaxed state in other situations in life too. You can draw on the skills that you learn on your mat to get into that relaxed state. The next lesson is connecting to your body. I feel like before I started my practice, I was personally very disconnected with my body. And through practicing yoga on my mat, I've really been able to connect with the sensations and feelings within my body, my muscles, my joints, and how my body moves and works. And this way, I'm able to move throughout my life with much more awareness. This helps me to know when I need to keep pushing my body or when I need to take a step back. Just being able to tune in and really be aware of where I am so I can prevent myself from going too far where I may get injured or burnt out. This also goes hand in hand with the next lesson, which is kindness. Kindness not only to others, but also to yourself. Part of being kind to yourself is being aware and being connected to your own body and your mind. Kindness and compassion is a principle that you can also share with others endlessly. Another lesson that I've learned on my yoga mat is letting go. Letting go can be one of the hardest things. We as humans can be really attached to material things or ideas or what we're supposed to do or be. We can also be attached to an ideal version of ourselves sometime in the future that we can't let go of, and that keeps us from being happy in this moment right now. Attachment to things or ideas or thoughts can really hold you back in life and really create a lot of friction and resistance. So being able to let go of these attachments can really create some ease and flow into your life. When you can accept what is, you can also be present, which goes back to my first lesson. Another lesson that I've learned on my mat is non-judgment. When you're practicing asana, some days are going to be different than others, and your body might take you in a different direction within each practice. And it takes a lot of practice to not judge yourself for not looking like the teacher or not looking like some picture that you saw on Instagram or not even practicing to the depth that you did the last time you practiced. Judging yourself isn't going to get you to where you think you need to be. So practicing non-judgment has been something that I've really worked on my mat, and I've been able to carry that throughout my life as well, whether it's towards myself or others. Judging others can come just as easily as judging ourselves. And again, it's always a work in progress and a practice. And the last lesson I want to talk about is getting out of your comfort zone. When I've practiced asana, I've been able to push myself and get out of my comfort zone, and I found so many benefits of it. And not only practicing yoga, but teaching yoga has been very out of my comfort zone because I really used to be scared of public speaking. So being able to push myself out of my comfort zone, getting into that discomfort, whether it's in a yin practice or whether it's pushing myself further in a vinyasa practice or to learn a posture that seems really difficult, I've been able to find so much success just by mentally pushing myself out there, and then the physical practice follows. I've also been able to apply this in my life, whether it comes to work or home life. Pushing myself out of my comfort zone has always led to growth, and to me that's always been worth it. So there you have it. Those are some of the lessons that I've learned on my mat through practicing yoga that I've been able to then translate off of my mat into my life. Do any of these lessons resonate with you? Are there any other lessons that I might not have thought of that you found beneficial in your life that you've learned on your mat? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also be sure to share this video so it helps my channel grow and it helps others find these videos. If you share it on social media, be sure to tag me at Flow with Shreya. For more mindfulness tips, you can check out this playlist right here. You can also join me in an asana practice, whether it's vinyasa, yin, relaxing, prenatal, or postnatal. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.